The Bund is now the landmark of Shanghai, the commercial and economic center of the city. There are many Western-style, non-native buildings near the riverside. As one of the first cities to open its doors to the outside world in China, the Bund became an important area for foreigners to settle in China, and was historically significant for the vigorous cultural clashes, commercial transactions, and subsequently local change in the function of the Bund to suit their needs, all leaving a legacy of history in the area. During the 1860s to 1880s, there was an influx of foreigners. The appearance of foreign newspapers documented everything about Shanghai at the time with a new and curious perspective. All kinds of Western institutions, cultures, and technologies were implanted, making the city bright and strange yet full of vitality. The essays in the overview and sketches show us how these Western elements operated in Shanghai at the time, and even expanded in their influence from different perspectives. This is the Shujiahui collection, a gathering place for newspapers in the 1880s, which now houses a large collection of foreign newspapers and copies that documented the old Shanghai, as well as historical maps and old photographs. These pictures were recorded from this collection, and you can see the historical changes of the Bund in Shanghai. By 1890, Shanghai was awakened to local self-identity by a group of patriots who started a movement to reject foreigners and Western cultures. The Bund was also transformed locally as foreign business withdrew and people left the skeleton buildings. From the original building leased to foreigners transformed into a tourist area, local band office buildings, etc. Till today. The development of the Bund architecture can be divided into 3 stages, and one of the first stage was in the middle of the 19th century, and which started with a 2-story building during the period built of brick and wood construction, either in the English country style or in the East Indian style, with wide inner veranda balcony. And the second phase began in the late 19th century and ended in the early 20th century. In this kind of period, building was adopted concrete structures and increased the number of floors, and usually 3 to 6, and also elevators was being introduced in this area. In the last period, the architecture style gradually moved towards the early modernist style,